Can you talk about the impact of technology on music and sounds, such as synthesizers, and the potential to create all kinds of sounds that didn't previously exist?
Well, it depends on what you hear. See, because anything the synthesizer is showing up as is what we hear already in time. We need to find it in the synthesizer. So synthesizer is an extension of the potential of human intelligence to reflect back to certain individuals, certain sounds they may in fact be needing to hear for themselves. So I think the process of technology in terms of making accessible all of these potential sounds and making up sounds, which is what synthesization should be about, making up sounds. All of this is good. There could be a lot of healing, so it's not just musical benefit. There's really healing benefit to hear these sounds that you because of your culture removed from, you now can create in the sonic zone of digital intelligence and awareness. Oh yeah, you can hear yourself, but then you got to go outside, outside on the street and deal with real life. But so it's given to us as a way of self-reflecting, self-identifying, self-recreating. I think it's really important word, self-recreation, self-decreating, and self-realizing. Beyond the forms and beyond the sounds of all phenomena, whether it's musical, light, sound, or mind, doesn't matter. It's all the same, because you're the pilot of the ship. You have to navigate through your own, let's say, born time-space world. Through your dream states, through your conscious states, through your superconscious states, through your unconscious states, you're the pilot. You're the director, you're the producer of this show, so to speak. You need to know that. You're the master of the ship, and you have to take full responsibility for it. So you have to go down with your ship, or you can go up with your ship, depending. Then there's no ship and there's no master, so you have to worry about that either.
So are you saying that the sound originates in the mind, let's say? Or?
Well, no, we're born of sound. Sound doesn't originate in the mind. You are already sound. So, without that being the case, there could be no manifestation of sound. It's all sound, vibrations, living vibration, living space vibration.
So, just as we have...
And there would have to be certain vibrations in a certain kind of configuration, right? Of different frequencies, different energies, right? Different rays even, to have your body in the position it's in right now, see? To keep it going. See? It's a confluence of energies and vibrations, see? Pulses, and so on. Cycles of energy. All of this is part of it. Sound, like cosmic sound energy.
So, as each being has, let's say, individual karma, does each being also have individual ways of resonating with sound?
Everybody is a sound being already. And so if you're a sound being, a radiant light, yes, but also a sound being. Because you're living. All living is sound. Sound is living. Existing, present. Doesn't matter if it's animate or inanimate. It's a sound. It is. Light is. Doesn't matter if it's animate or inanimate or body centered or not. It is. It is its own reality. It's a paradox. And then there's light and sound. Light is sound. Sound is light. Light is the sound. Sound is the light. And so on and so forth, to the neutralization of both. So there's nothing, neither. But there's only neither if you have two things. So they're both realities, the left and right side, the high and low. They're all there. Polarities are right there, and that's what the one is. See?
Do certain sounds, let's say, unlock?
They can, the keys, of course, yeah. Sound, frequencies, definitely a lot. Yeah, that's what they're for. To release us, from bondage. So sound is important. You hear the sound, you like a thunderclap and you wake up.
Did your electric guitar sound function that way for you
As a thunderclap?
as something that unlocked?
No, there was something already unlocked, and then the manifestation of it was guitar sound. So, and that was it. Of course, I didn't have good technology at that point, so I made do with whatever it was that I had. So, and the ordinary guitar sound was never enough for me, because it wasn't true to my voice. I have a voice, and I know what I mean by my voice. There's my talking voice, there's my screaming voice, my shouting voice, and then there's my really powerful sort of, spirit voice. So these are all different dynamics and dimensions of the same voice, different purposes. So we're talking about sound having a similar kind of, you can hear the same tone, but differently, it might awaken you. Same pitch, differently, might awaken you, might produce sleep. So timbre has something to do with it. Everything is a part of it. See? Every perception, every shade is really part of the magic of what's happening. See? The creation, it's a continual creation. We have to see it as a continual creation of life and recreation of life itself. And the decreation of life itself as one stream, continuous stream.
So is it a substantial difference for you in playing an acoustic guitar and an electric guitar?
Well, there's definitely sonic difference, there's no question about it. There's also a technical difference, there's no question about that. It requires a different kind of physicalness, say, in terms of manual dexterity and muscle, nerve, I guess you might say coordination. Yes, the acoustic is much harder than the electric, because of the way the electric is set up to satisfy my nerve damage. Requirement to have less pressure.
And do you think of your electric guitar sound as your voice?
Voice,
as such?
yeah, it's a vocal sound, definitely. Definitely. In fact, I'm really surprised some gigs that I play at, that I'm able to say anything, because I'm so involved in expressing my guitar lines through my own voice and mind. Not just hearing it, but expressing it, almost like singing it. It's that quality of what I'm doing. Singing the lines, inwardly singing the lines. That's important, So not that everybody hears that, but I have to hear it. So we're talking about different levels of hearing the same thing, and then we start to get a better sense of what it is that we're talking about relative to the true nature of sound, which is no sound, and the true nature of no sound, which is all sound.
So does the technology as it exists provide an acceptable platform for you for creating your sound?
I have more than enough technology to use, definitely. So I'm okay with that, and I'm good with none of it at the same time. Just play the guitar. So having the actual instrument is the more important thing, and being able to play it and vibrate with it, which is the important thing. I think feeling good with it, feeling resonance with it. That's important. The rest of the, let's say, the technologic, let's say, sequences of progression relative to the technology itself, that doesn't really matter too much to me. Now, having a certain sound does, so then that really limits me to a certain type of technology, in this case, the Mesa Boogie technology, which is not the only one. It's certainly one that's come to me. It's come to me, so I use it. And I'm not sure I'm using it properly or improperly. I'm using it the way I hear it and feel it, and it works. I have to make it work. You have to make what the thing is work for you. You have to make the music work for you. You have to make this life work for you. You have to have mastery, so that you let mastery work for you as well. So you're not subject to or imprisoned by all kinds of other problems that come out of a non-solution solution. It's like a problem solution. So for some people, the problem is the solution. It can only be that.
So are any changes you wish to make to your sound, if any, made in terms of performance and not technology?
Say that again?
Do you use your playing to create sound with this technological basis?
Yeah, exactly. It has to be an interaction, like the technology has to be part of an extension of the mind of the artist, see. And so that's what it should be. You know, I'm not sure it's perfect for me, as such, whatever me is, right? But in terms of what I hear. But it's usable, it's workable right now. I'm not saying I'm happy with it. No, I hear other things, many other things. But I'm not that interested in the technology for its own sake, to be wanting to pursue that, so I have a very specific sound, because then I'd be into the sound and not into what I'm really saying. So what I'm really saying with what I'm playing is more important than just the sound of it.
Have you experimented with, let's say, more extreme volume levels at all?
No, I don't need extreme volume. So usually just soft volume for me. Think what my ears and what my body can handle. It's not all that intense, see. But the real intensity comes from the mind. What's being played is very intense. And the work is up here, you know, in here. See, sort of kind of circuitry there, you know, like this, you know, wired that way. You know, heart to the brain to heart. So, yeah. And so that's how it's wired. That's how it sounds. That's how it shows up. It's good, it's very good. It's great.
Do certain times and certain cultures require or need sounds, new sounds, or?
I think individuals need sounds. And they find the sounds, see. They hear the sounds, they make the sounds. They are approached by the spirits of the sounds. And so the spirits of the sounds will work through certain individuals. That's pretty much the law. And the way it is, and the way it has been since the beginning. So that you're just a vessel here, a medium, see, for what the real is to come through, when and if it can come through you, depending on what your function is, either in relationship to that, the real, or the unreal. And most people, you know, who fall in the middle would say, I'm not interested in what I'm talking about. Or whatever it is I'm playing about, they're not interested in that kind of extremity, if they call it an extremity. I don't know, for me it's my norm. So other people say it's extreme, or harsh, or whatever, you know, mad. That's relative, it's all relative, so not to be taken personally. Whatever anybody says, not to be taken personally.
Do the sounds transcend the music? For example, if somebody goes to hear a symphony, not really focused on the composition, but they're getting off on the sounds of the brass or the low strings or something. Are those sounds working something on their own outside of how they're being utilized?
Oh, of course, you know that. That's obvious. Does it have its own existence? That's why it's on paper, because it has its own existence. That's what a composition means. That which is designed to be enjoyed by itself, for what it is, as itself. That's the way of the composition. It's the nature of the composition. So there's no question about that. And where an individual is coming from relative to anything they hear, it's unique. The chemistry is unique, the mind, the mental intelligence is unique. The karmic conditions of when they're hearing anything is unique, and not to be seen again forever. So even though we repeat certain patterns, but it's changing all the time, we know that already from terms of atomic physics. Quantum physics. We know that.
And do you hear, let's say, nature as music or composition?
Of course, I hear silence as composition, nature as such. I'm hearing it now, always. So that whatever I'm playing is part of this, in a manner of speaking. But then that may not be what I need to say, so then I have to bring in a human element and what needs to be said. See? And so that's another process. It's another, you know, I guess you might say dynamic, is what people need to hear. See? And who judges that? See? And if it's given to me, then it means I have to play what I'm hearing for the people who come to hear what I'm playing. And
so would you consider your playing to be, let's say, audible silence?
in every case, because that's where I'm coming from. And that's the peace within the storm. That's the eye of the hurricane, so to speak. Without that, the whole thing falls apart. You need the eye to sustain the storm front. It's part of the paradox of it.
So then you're aware as you play always of the source of the sound, which is silence, but that's not a typical musical perception necessarily.
Well, we don't know that anybody needs that. See, who needs that? That's really the question. Who needs that? Who has brought themselves to a place where they need that, or need to consider that, see, or need to do that, or need to be that, see? And sort of part of the unfoldment of the consciousness from, let's say, sound to silence, see, as a realization. Zero.